Well, this is the incredible scene captured this morning from the Sheffield area of Yorkshire. Thanks for clicking on to Vogan's European Outlook for Friday, the 10th of March. A true winter wonderland greeted the residents of parts of the Pennines, the Peak District, this morning. I think the Met Office did a pretty good job actually with forecasting this system deepening area of low pressure moving from west to east. Of course, plenty of Arctic air to the north. We had mild temperatures, 13, even 14 Celsius across the far south of England yesterday. We did see the snow line retreat north, increasingly north during the course of the day. And then during the overnight period, the snow level started to drop once again. It headed further south, and this was the response to that cold air engaging with all that moisture coming in off the Atlantic during the overnight period. I believe there was upwards of a foot of snow in parts of the Sheffield, Mansfield area in particular during the course of last night. This was a video captured by MetWatch, so thanks for sharing that on Twitter. Certainly a lot going on. Who needs a beast from the east, right? Because I think there was a lot of there's been a lot of hype associated with that term, that meteorological term that has been used for decades, long before 2018, of course. But this is turning out to be a very notable cold spell for the UK. I think when all is said and done, it was a pretty good call actually. I said way back at the very least the early portion of February that with that major sun stratospheric warming there would be an increased chance of seeing a significant spell of cold during the month of March. I think it would do a heck of a lot to wipe out the cold anomaly that we are now starting to build over the British Isles for the month of March. I think you would have to have a really significant surge of warmth during the second half of the month in order to be able to wipe out this anomaly. So I believe, personally speaking, that March is a given that it will be a colder than average month. We will pull back at some point. I don't believe that we've got a 2013 where it stayed cold right the way through the month. But even that, we didn't see the temperatures reach lower than minus 12.9 during the March 2013 period. That was the coldest March in 50 years for the British Isles. I don't think it's going to be as cold as that in terms of the overall month, but we have seen a temperature of minus 12 or lower 3 nights in a row across the UK. Temperatures dropped to minus 12.6, I believe, at Altnahar. I don't know how cold Cumbrace got last night. It may have been fractionally colder than that. I don't know. I know unofficial readings were down as low as minus 14 last night over the snowfields. So we've laid the carpet of white now across the North Midlands and up into the Peak District, the North Yorkshires, the North Pennines. We've got a solid covering of between, say 15 and 25 centimetres. Locally, we've probably got close to the 40 centimetres that the Met Office predicted. And I think, generally speaking, they've done a pretty good call. So this, of course, was the forecast from the BBC, or should I say, actually, the Met Office. So parts of Northern Ireland certainly got in on the act. Some significant snowfall here, anywhere from Uri up through Armagh, Lisburn, up towards the west side of Belfast. Dublin got a pretty decent covering. Shrine Bruin sending in some terrific photographs here. North Wales, we did see a significant amount of snow, possibly locally upwards of a foot of snow in the higher parts of mid and North Wales as well. And indeed, of course, the area around the M62, I believe there was 7 hours where vehicles were stuck on the M62. Certainly would not have been attempted to cross the 62 last night, that's for sure. 30, 40 mile an hour winds, heavy snowfall, blizzard conditions. I do think it overall played out pretty well indeed. I did travel down to the Glasgow area last night myself with work, and there was a slushy coating, particularly so grassy areas, pavements and whatnot. The roads generally were not too bad, but it was basically that was the northern flank of that shield of moisture lifting north. It only got as far as just the north side of Glasgow last night. We did, of course, see more snow showers rattling in on a newly developing north wind, and that has been the case through the course of today. We've started to see winds coming back in out of the north once again. Snowy conditions across the outer Hebrides. We've seen temperature down to -5.9, by the way, yesterday morning at Stornoway. That's the coldest in 12 years of any month. Parts of Orkney, unofficial readings, -10. So places that don't typically get as cold as what you would get in the mainland are seeing some remarkable temperatures. So this is definitely a notable cold spell. And what's going to be interesting is how cold does it get tonight? Because we do have an area of high pressure going to be building in to the UK over that fresh snow cover during the course of tonight, and we are going to see the temperatures dropping like a stone. Look at this here. This is, I believe, the outskirts of Dublin, taken by our good friend Shryan Bruin. Just absolutely stunning photographs coming out of this area near the Dublin area during the overnight period. Like I said, temperatures down to -10 unofficially, according to Highland Weather. Our good friend Lee, with his terrific network of stations. The all-time record for Orkney, goes on to say, was 1963, temperatures down to -12.8 Celsius. This was the scene captured by Eddie Graham, based in Stornoway. This is not a typical scene that you would normally expect to see in Stornoway, that's for sure. And he goes on to say that he recorded the coldest temperature, or Stornoway recorded the coldest temperatures since 2010. Matt Taylor showing the stunning satellite image as that area of low pressure pulled away. Wind chills were bitter last night. You probably noticed that if you were down in this region of the world, in particular where there's deep snow cover. The wind blowing over that snow cover was just brutal during the early portion of today, but a stunning satellite capture of the snow extending from kind of the Manchester, North Midlands area. I know the North Midlands and Manchester aren't right beside each other. You get what I mean. But right up the spine of the Pennines, the Peak District, just absolutely stunning scenes captured by space. Look at Northern Ireland. So I am from Newry. Well, I was born in Newry, lived in Bessbrook for the first 3-4 years of my life, and then I moved away to London. But you can see here that there is the Newry is located right about here, just to the north of Carlingford Lough. So stunning snow cover, stunning scene over Northern Ireland. Do you live in Northern Ireland? Did you wake up to snow? How much snow did you see this morning? Did you have any trouble going to work this morning? Is the schools closed? I don't know. Let me know in the comments section below your experience. This is another scene from Sheffield. So 30 centimetres of snow reported here by Meteo Place, UK Weather. Another video here from Met Forecast. These were the wind chills this morning, by the way, when I was going to bed. Came off a night shift, so didn't get up this morning until about 3 p.m. But you can see here that wind chills were pretty brutal last night up across the north. Taking my fiance to work, wind chill was about -6, -7. It was freezing. Doesn't help, I think, when you're up for 24 hours and without sleep. I think the cold makes it feel even colder when you're quite tired, of course. But these are the snow warnings over the next 12 hours or so, according to the Met Office. So we aren't out of the woods yet. So let's have a quick look. We'll have a look and see what the situation is first. So, of course, we've got that area of low pressure pulling away. Heavy snowfall, possibly for the Belgium, Netherlands. If you're in this general area, let me know what your conditions are like here. But that system is now pulling away. Before this next feature moves in off the Atlantic, we've got a window of high pressure. And I reckon minus double digits very comfortably in the Mansfield, Sheffield, Wakefield, Leeds area of the UK, Manchester possible. Up into the North Pennines as well, Shap, Redesdale, Camp in Northumberland, could be seeing -10, -12 Celsius very, very easily indeed. We've got more snow showers moving into the north of the UK, as you can see here. So there's that area of high pressure, that little window of clear, cold air. And of course, with the snow-covered ground, we're going to see maximum radiational cooling. Very, very cold night indeed coming up, especially further south. We've had the -12 to -16 the last 3 mornings up across the far north, where there's a decent snow cover north of Inverness. We've still not got any snow here, but I expect to see snow over the weekend. So we see the next system moving in. We've got rain to low levels, snow, 150, 200 meters above sea level. That's going to move through. And then we've got the next system. Now, this almost sets the scene, this lead system, for the next system that has a lot of warmer air associated with it. We're going to see temperatures rising through the course of Sunday, and even by dawn on Monday, I wouldn't be surprised if we see temperatures comfortably above freezing right across the board. So you can see here that only the highest hills of the north are going to see snow from this. If you look at 850 temperatures, the temperatures are fairly warm at 5,000 feet here. So we are going to see a temporary recovery over the course of the weekend. You notice here that the GFS does not have the milder completely reaching the north coast. It kind of starts to come back south once again. And watch this here. Let's have a quick look at the overview chart for the same time frame. Watch this area of low pressure sitting over Shetland. This is at 1800 UTC on Monday. We're back into the cold air once again. And this is exactly what I thought would happen with the setup here. So a temporary warm-up during the course of Sunday. And then watch this. We back in. Notice the squeeze in the isobars. We've got a reasonable pressure gradient between high pressure, 1020 millibars, out over the Atlantic. Area of low pressure at 970 millibars. That could produce some blizzard conditions and wicked northerly winds during the latter half of Monday and into Tuesday, as per this latest run of the GFS, may I add. And then we're back into the cold air once again. And for a few days through the middle portion of next week, we've got disturbances coming down from the north, enhancing snow showers right down to sea level likely. Let's have a look at the 850 temperatures here, because this warm-up that we get is very, very short-lived. And look at this here, back into that blast of northerly winds here. Always keeping an eye to the Atlantic. There's always going to be a push, the Atlantic trying to push systems into that cold air. And this is the fight that I was talking about in the forecast way back at the start of the month, that there would be a battle between warm Atlantic air trying to move up from the southwest, cold trying to move in from the northeast. That's what major southern stratospheric warmings do. It's trying to push cold air into the mid-latitudes, trying to force the jet stream further south and the storm track and whatnot. But there's that resistance taking place. So we've got the work of the Manjulian Oscillation and the major SSW response at work, both hand in hand. And remember, this is us getting to the middle portion of the month here. So very, very interesting stuff indeed. And then it looks as if that cold tries to hold on, as per the latest GFS run, all the way towards the end of next week. So we're firmly in that cold pattern for the majority of the next week or so. So this cold spell is certainly holding on, and you notice here that there is that continued fight right the way through to the next weekend here. So Met Office warnings, you can see here for ice across parts of Northern Ireland, or the whole of Northern Ireland in fact. We've also got a snow and ice risk, snow showers in the air, as well as the ice, especially with clear skies and melting snow, because we've got a pretty strong March sun, of course, at this time of year. Temperatures even in the snow area is 3-4 degrees during the course of today, so we are seeing that melting during the day. As soon as the temperature drops, that turns to ice, causes a lot of trouble, of course, indeed. But North Wales, through Greater Manchester and the areas that I've talked about, the deepest snow cover, double digits below freezing very, very easily indeed. Another run at -12, -15 Celsius across the far north of the UK.